Hi Year 11 Extension 1 Mathematics students. Today we're continuing on with the topic of polynomials and we're learning about polynomial equations. So px is a polynomial while px equals 0 is a polynomial equation. The solutions to px equals 0 are called the roots of the equation or the zeros of the polynomial px. So we're going to just have a look at two examples today. So example 1, we have that we want to find all zeros of px equals x cubed minus 7x plus 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to factorize this first, and we're going to try factors of our constant like we did last lesson. So we're going to try factors of 6, where our factors of 6 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, and plus or minus 6. So we're going to start by trying to substitute in 1 to our equation. So we're going to go 1 cubed minus 7 times 1 plus 6. And when we sub this into our equation, we get 0. So that means that we have found a factor of our polynomial. So therefore, x minus 1 is a factor. Now that we know that this is a factor of our polynomial, what we are going to do is we're going to divide our polynomial by this factor. So we have x minus 1 divided by our polynomial. Now it's important to note in our polynomial that we do not have a value for x squared. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to put a 0 there. So we're going to go x cubed plus 0x squared minus 7x plus 6. So what we do is we get our first term of x and divide it by x cubed, and we get x squared. Then we go x squared times by our divisor, so x cubed and minus x squared. And then we subtract. So x cubed minus x cubed is 0. And then 0 minus negative x squared is just positive x squared. We then divide our x squared by x and we get positive x. And we have to remember to bring down our minus 7x. So then we go our x times our x is x squared. X times minus 1 is minus x. So then we subtract, so x squared minus x squared is 0, minus 7 minus negative 1 is negative 6x, and we bring down our plus 6. So then what we do is we go minus 6 divided by x is minus 6, so then we multiply minus 6 by x, so we get minus 6x, and minus 6 times negative 1 is plus 6. And we subtract all of this, so minus 6 minus negative 6x is 0, and then 6 minus 6 is 0. So therefore, what we have found out, so therefore we have px equals x minus 1 times x squared plus x minus 6. And we can factorize x squared plus x minus 6 as it's a quadratic. So we have x minus 1, and then we'll have x plus 3, x minus 2. So therefore, for our zeros of px, we let px equal 0. So we have x minus 1, x plus 3, and x minus 2 equals 0. So therefore x equals 1 minus 3 and 2. And they are our zeros of our polynomial. Moving on to example 2, we want to find all the roots of our polynomial our polynomial x to the power of 4 plus 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 10x equals 0. So for our polynomial of x to the power of 4 plus 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 10x, we can take out a common factor of x. So we're going to take x out the front, So then we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. And then we're going to try factors of 10 now that we have a constant. Try factors of 10, which is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 5, and plus or minus 10. So we're going to start off with 1 and try to see if that works. So we're going to sub it into our, just into this part of our polynomial, because we've already taken out our factor. If you sub it into the polynomial given to you in the equation, you'll still get the same answer. So that doesn't work. So because polynomial of 1 doesn't work, let's sub into minus 1. That gets us 0. So when we sub in negative 1 into our polynomial, we get negative 1 cubed plus 4 times negative 1 squared minus 7 times negative 1 minus 10, which equals 0. So therefore we get that x plus 1 is a factor. So then we're going to divide our x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 10 by x plus 1. So x plus 1 divided by our x cubed plus 4x squared minus 7x minus 10. So x divided by x cubed divided by x, is x squared, which is x cubed plus x squared when we multiply our divisor by our x squared. Subtract 4 minus 1 x squared is 3x squared. Bring down our negative 7x. Divide 3x squared by x, we get plus 3x. So then 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 1 is plus 3x. Subtract, we get minus 10x. Bring down our negative 10. So the negative 10x divided by x is negative 10. And multiply negative 10 by x, and then multiply negative 10 by 1. Subtract, and we get 0. So therefore our px now equals x plus 1, bracket, bracket. Oh, sorry, we need to make sure that we write our x out the front. So x bracket x plus 1 bracket x squared plus 3x minus 10. And then we can factorize our quadratic. So we get x bracket x plus 1, x plus 5, x minus 2 is what px equals. And so then for the zeros, or for the roots, sorry, we let px equal 0, so we get x bracket x plus 1, x plus 5, x minus 2 equals 0. So therefore x equals 0, minus 1, minus 5, and 2. And so therefore the roots are x equals 0, minus 1,